The morning sun filtered through the trees as Lily knelt in the soil, carefully placing new flowers in the freshly turned earth. Beads of sweat gathered on her forehead as she worked, but her face showed nothing but concentration and joy. The gardens of the Westwood Hotel were her canvas, and she treated every inch with love and care. "These lilacs will bloom beautifully next spring," she murmured to herself, patting the soil around the small plant. The hotel gardens were famous in the city, drawing guests who came just to walk among the perfectly arranged flowers and breathe in their sweet scent. Lily stood up and wiped her hands on her worn work pants. At 32, she carried herself with quiet confidence. Her simple clothes and the dirt under her fingernails spoke of honest work, something she took great pride in. What no one at the hotel knew was that she went home each night to a very different life. A voice called out from behind her. "Ms. Garcia, the manager wants to see you." It was Ben, one of the younger staff members who always treated her with respect. "Thanks, Ben. I'll head there now," Lily replied, grabbing her water bottle and taking a quick drink before making her way toward the main building. The cool air inside the hotel was a welcome change from the summer heat. Lily was aware of her dirty boots and work clothes as she walked across the polished marble floor, trying to stay near the edges so she wouldn't leave marks for the cleaning staff to deal with. Mr. Wilson, the hotel manager, looked up from his desk when she entered. "Ah, Lily, thank you for coming so quickly." "Is everything okay with the gardens?" she asked, suddenly worried. The gardens were her responsibility, and she took great pride in them. "The gardens are perfect as always," Mr. Wilson assured her with a warm smile. "I called you in because we have a very important event happening next week. A big tech company is hosting a business retreat here. The owner specifically mentioned how much he loves our gardens and wants them to be showcased during the stay." Lily nodded, pleased. "I can prepare some special arrangements for their meeting areas. That would be wonderful. They'll be here for a full week, and there will be outdoor events nearly every day." He handed her a folder. "Here's the schedule and some requests they've made. The company is Chen Innovations." Lily's heart skipped a beat, but her face remained calm. "Chen Innovations," she repeated evenly. "I'll make sure everything is perfect. I knew I could count on you." Mr. Wilson smiled. "They're paying a fortune for this retreat. The owner, Alexander Chen, has booked the entire top floor for himself and his executives." "I've heard of him," Lily said softly. Of course she had. Alexander Chen was her husband of 5 years. As she walked back to the gardens, Lily pulled out her phone and sent a quick text. "So you're coming to my workplace? When were you going to tell me?" The response came almost immediately. "Surprise. I was going to tell you tonight. Promise." Lily shook her head but couldn't help smiling. This was so typical of Alex. He loved his little surprises. When her shift ended, Lily drove her old but reliable car to her modest apartment on the east side of the city. She and Alex had agreed early in their relationship to keep their lives separate in many ways. She had her apartment where she lived most of the time, and he had his penthouse downtown. They spent weekends together, usually at his place, and occasional weeknights when their schedules allowed. The arrangement seemed strange to outsiders, but it worked perfectly for them. Lily valued her independence fiercely, and Alex respected that. He understood why she wanted to work and live by her own means, not relying on his wealth. For his part, Alex enjoyed having a partner who saw him as a person, not a bank account. As she unlocked her door, she heard movement inside and smiled. Alex was already there, his expensive shoes neatly placed by the door beside her worn boots, a visible symbol of their different worlds. "So the mighty CEO is gracing the humble Westwood with his presence?" she called out teasingly as she entered. Alex appeared from the kitchen, wooden spoon in hand. He was tall and lean, his dark hair slightly messy as if he'd been running his hands through it. Despite being worth billions, he wore simple jeans and a t-shirt when he was with Lily. "I was going to tell you over dinner," he said, looking slightly guilty. "I made your favorite pasta." "You're trying to butter me up?" Lily accused, but there was no real anger in her voice. She walked over and gave him a quick kiss. "Is it working?" he asked hopefully. "Maybe. Depends on how good the pasta is." She moved past him to wash her hands. Why didn't you tell me sooner? This is a big deal, Alex. Your company at my workplace? Alex leaned against the counter, watching her. The decision was only finalized yesterday. The original venue canceled on us last minute. I remembered how much I loved the gardens at your hotel when you gave me a tour last month, and it seemed perfect. Lily dried her hands and turned to face him. And what about our agreement? About keeping our lives separate? Your fancy business friends will be right there where I work every day. None of them know you, Alex pointed out gently. You've never attended any company events with me. We don't share the same last name at work. You're Lily Garcia there, not Lily Chen. This was true. Lily had kept her family name professionally, another part of maintaining her independence. Besides, Alex continued, the retreat is focused on our new eco-friendly initiatives. Having the meeting surrounded by those amazing gardens you've created, it's perfect. I'm really proud of what you've done there, Lily. His sincerity softened her concerns. Fine, but we stick to the plan. At the hotel, I'm just the gardener and you're just another rich guest. No special treatment. Absolutely, Alex agreed quickly. I won't even acknowledge that I know you unless you speak to me first. He stirred the pasta sauce. Though it will be torture seeing you and not being able to tell everyone that the brilliant garden designer is my wife. Lily rolled her eyes but felt a warmth spread through her chest. Despite his wealth and status, Alex had never made her feel less than his equal. It was one of the many reasons she loved him. Tell me about these fancy guests you're bringing, she said, grabbing plates to set the table. Alex's expression changed slightly. Most of them are good people. Some of my best developers and team leaders, a few potential investors. He hesitated. There are a couple I'm not thrilled about, but they're too important to exclude. Like who? Lily asked curiously. James Davenport, for one. He runs a major investment firm. He could fund our new sustainability project entirely by himself. Alex frowned. But he's difficult, old money, old attitudes. Meaning he's a snob, Lily translated, knowing how the ultra-wealthy could be. She'd seen plenty of them at the hotel. Exactly. And then there's Nicole Winter, social media influencer turned tech investor. She has millions of followers and has backed some successful startups. Having her support would be huge for us, but she can be another snob, Lily suggested with a grin. You could say that. Alex served the pasta. But don't worry. They'll be busy with meetings and activities. They probably won't even notice. The gardener. Lily took a bite of pasta and nodded appreciatively. This is good. You're forgiven for the surprise. Later that night, as they sat on her small balcony watching the city lights, Lily rested her head on Alex's shoulder. It's going to be strange, seeing you there with all those important people, pretending we don't know each other. Alex wrapped an arm around her. We could always drop the act, let people know we're married. Lily shook her head. No, I like things the way they are. The moment people find out I'm your wife, everything changes. They'll treat me differently. I won't just be good at my job. I'll be good at my job for the boss's wife. Or worse, they'll think I only got the position because of you. You got that job before we even met, Alex pointed out. I know that and you know that, but they won't see it that way. Lily sighed. Besides, I like watching you when you don't know I'm there. I get to see the businessman side of you that I don't usually see at home. Alex laughed softly. Just promise you won't judge me too harshly if I have to play the tough CEO. I make no such promises, Lily teased. I'll be taking mental notes on everything. As they fell into comfortable silence, Lily couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Their carefully separated worlds were about to collide, and she wasn't sure they were ready for what might happen. Still, as she felt the steady beat of Alex's heart against her cheek, she told herself everything would be fine. They had faced challenges before and always came through stronger. What she didn't know was that the coming week would test not just their unusual relationship arrangement, but also reveal the true colors of those around them in ways neither could have predicted. The day the Chen Innovations retreat began, Lily arrived at work earlier than usual. She wanted to make sure every flower bed was perfect. every path swept clean. The morning air was crisp as she moved through the gardens, making final adjustments. Her hands worked quickly, removing dead leaves and straightening the small signs that identified various plants. "You're here early," commented Rosa, another gardener who had become Lily's friend over the years. "Nervous about the big shots coming today?" Lily smiled and shook her head. "Just want everything to look its best. Mr. Wilson said they specifically requested to use the gardens for their events." "Well, they couldn't have picked a better place. These gardens are amazing because of you." Rosa helped Lily arrange a fresh flower display near the entrance. "I heard the CEO is staying in the presidential suite, probably some stuffy old man, who won't even notice all your hard work." Lily bit back a smile. "Maybe, we'll see." By mid-morning, the first cars began arriving, sleek, expensive vehicles that purred quietly as they pulled up to the hotel entrance. Lily was trimming roses near the front garden when the guests started to file in. She kept her head down, but her eyes occasionally flickered toward the new arrivals. She spotted Alex immediately. He wore a perfectly tailored dark blue suit that she had never seen before. His face was composed in what she called his business mask, confident, slightly distant but still approachable. He was surrounded by people in equally expensive clothes, all of them talking and laughing as hotel staff rushed to handle their luggage. "That must be them," Rosa whispered, pausing in her work to watch. "Look at those suits. Bet any one of them costs more than we make in a month." "Probably," Lily agreed quietly. Her eyes followed Alex as he spoke with the hotel manager. Even though she saw him regularly at home, there was something different about him here. A power and authority that was usually softened when they were alone. "The tall one in the blue suit must be the CEO," Rosa continued. "He's younger than I expected, and not bad-looking either." "I suppose," Lily said, turning back to her roses to hide her smile. The morning passed quickly as the business group settled in. Lily stayed in the gardens, far enough away to not draw attention but close enough to occasionally glimpse Alex as he showed his colleagues around the hotel grounds. She had just finished planting new flowers in a bed near the outdoor pavilion, when voices approached from behind. "And this is where we'll have our welcome dinner tonight," Alex was saying. "The hotel has set up the pavilion for us, and the views of the gardens are spectacular." Lily kept working, her back to the group. She recognized Alex's voice, of course, but there were others she didn't know. "It's charming, I suppose," said a woman's voice, sounding less than impressed. "Though I would have preferred the retreat in Malibu like last year." "Nicole," Alex said smoothly, "I think you'll find this venue offers something special. The gardens here have won national awards for their sustainable design." Lily felt a small glow of pride at Alex's words, even though she knew he couldn't single her out as the designer. "Speaking of the gardens," a deep male voice cut in, "what's with the help? Doesn't the hotel have better uniforms for their staff?" Lily tensed, realizing they were talking about her. Her work clothes were certainly not fancy, just practical pants, a simple shirt, and boots that could handle dirt and water. "I believe the gardeners dress for function rather than appearance, James," Alex replied, his voice neutral but with an edge that Lily recognized as irritation. "Shall we continue to the conference rooms?" As the group moved away, Lily finally turned to, "Look at them." Alex was leading a group of about 10 people, all dressed impeccably. A tall man with silver hair, presumably James, was looking back at her with obvious disdain. Beside him walked a slender woman with perfect blonde hair, who Lily guessed was Nicole. The woman glanced at Lily, then whispered something to James that made him laugh. Lily took a deep breath and went back to her work. This was exactly why she and Alex kept their relationship private. In his world, people like James and Nicole would never see her as an equal. The rest of the day passed without incident. Lily stayed busy in parts of the garden away from the business, groups activities. As evening approached, she finished her shift and slipped out through the staff entrance, driving home to her apartment. She had just showered and changed into comfortable clothes when her phone buzzed with a text from Alex. "Wish you were at the dinner tonight. Hard to see you working and not say hello." She smiled and texted back, "Enjoying your fancy friends? That James seems charming." The reply came quickly. James Davenport is an ass, but his investment firm controls billions. Nicole Winter isn't. Much better. But some good people here too. You'd like Priya from our development team. Just remember our deal, Lily texted. I'm just the gardener. I remember. Missing you, though. This hotel bed is too big without you. Lily smiled at his message. Despite their agreement to keep their distance during the retreat, she missed him too. The next morning, Lily arrived at work to find the gardens already busy. Hotel staff were setting up for a breakfast meeting in the rose garden, placing tables and chairs among the blooming flowers. Mr. Wilson spotted her and hurried over. Lily. Perfect timing. The Chen group has requested a guided tour of the gardens after their breakfast. Could you lead it? You know the gardens better than anyone. Lily's heart raced. A tour would mean directly interacting with Alex and his colleagues. Are you sure they want a tour from the gardener? I'm not exactly dressed for a presentation. Mr. Wilson waved away her concern. Mr. Chen specifically asked for the person who designs and maintains the gardens. He said something about sustainable practices being relevant to their new project. Of course he did, Lily thought. This was Alex's way of showing off her work without revealing their connection. All right, she agreed. What time? 9:30. Just meet them here after they finish breakfast. As Lily prepared for the tour, checking that all garden areas were presentable, she felt unusually nervous. Speaking to groups wasn't her favorite thing even under normal circumstances. Doing so while pretending not to know her own husband would be a challenge. At exactly 9:30, the business group gathered in the rose garden. Lily approached them, conscious of her work clothes and dirty boots compared to their expensive outfits. Alex stood at the center of the group, his eyes finding hers immediately, though his expression remained professionally polite. Good morning, Lily said, addressing the group. I'm Lily Garcia, the head gardener here at Westwood. I understand you'd like a tour of our gardens? Yes, thank you for making time for us, Alex replied formally, as if they were strangers. My company is launching a new sustainability initiative, and I've heard your gardens are a model of environmental design. Nicole Winter looked Lily up and down with thinly veiled contempt. You're the designer of these gardens? I would have expected someone more professional. The group fell silent at her rudeness. Lily saw Alex's jaw tighten, but she spoke before he could. I believe in being hands-on with my work, Ms. Winter. These gardens require daily attention, not just design on paper. Her voice was calm, but firm. Shall we begin the tour? As they walked through the gardens, Lily explained the sustainable practices they used. Rainwater collection systems, native plants that required less water, natural pest control methods. Most of the group seemed genuinely interested, asking questions and taking notes. Alex stayed toward the back, letting others take the lead, though Lily could feel his eyes on her. And how did someone like you learn all this? James Davenport asked during a pause in her explanation. Did you take some community college course? The condescension in his voice was unmistakable. Before Lily could respond, a woman with dark hair and warm eyes, possibly the Priya that Alex had mentioned, spoke up. James, don't be rude. Ms. Garcia clearly knows more about sustainable landscaping than any of us. She turned to Lily with a genuine smile. I think what you've created here is remarkable. Would you mind if I asked you some questions about how you integrated the water recycling system? We're trying to implement something similar at our headquarters. I'd be happy to explain, Lily replied, grateful for the intervention. As the tour continued, James and Nicole made several more snide comments, mostly to each other but loud enough for Lily to hear. They laughed about her peasant boots and wondered aloud if she even finished high school. Each time, Lily noticed Alex's expression darken, though he maintained his professional demeanor. When they reached the Japanese garden section, Nicole stepped back dramatically when Lily approached to point out a feature. Careful with those dirty hands, she said with a laugh. This outfit cost more than you probably make in a year. Several people in the group looked uncomfortable, but no one spoke up this time. Lily saw Alex open his mouth, then close it again, clearly struggling to maintain their agreement not to reveal their relationship. "You'd be surprised what I can afford, Ms. Winter," Lily said evenly. "But I value things that last rather than passing trends." She gestured to the stone lantern beside the pond. "This lantern was handcrafted and will be beautiful for generations while fashion changes with the seasons." Nicole's smile tightened, but before she could respond, Alex stepped forward. "Thank you for the tour, Ms. Garcia. Your knowledge and passion for sustainable practices are exactly what inspired us to hold our retreat here." He turned to the group. "We should head to our first meeting. We're already running late." As the group moved toward the hotel, Lily overheard James saying to Nicole, "Can you believe the hotel had us take a tour with the help? I was expecting an actual horticulturist, not a glorified lawnmower." Nicole laughed. "Did you see her hands? Absolutely filthy. I need to sanitize after this." Lily pretended not to hear as she gathered her gardening tools. She caught Alex's eye as he lingered, behind the group. He mouthed, "I'm sorry," when no one was looking, but Lily just gave a small shrug. This was exactly what they had expected might happen. She had dealt with people like James and Nicole before. What she hadn't expected was how much it would hurt to see Alex stand by silently while they insulted her. Even though she knew why he couldn't defend her, a small part of her had hoped he would find a way. As she watched the group disappear into the hotel, Lily wondered how they would both handle the next 5 days of the retreat. The worlds they had kept carefully separate were now colliding, and the impact was already creating cracks she hadn't anticipated. By the third day of the retreat, Lily had developed a system for avoiding unnecessary contact with Alex's business associates. She adjusted her schedule to work in sections of the garden far from their meeting spots and took her lunch breaks in the small staff room rather than the outdoor areas she usually preferred. But the hotel wasn't large enough to avoid them completely. As she knelt beside a flower bed near the pool area, she heard the now familiar voices of Nicole and James approaching. A business lunch had just ended, and small groups were scattered around the pool and patio. "I still don't understand why Chen chose this place," Nicole was saying. "The Four Seasons downtown has much better facilities. It's this new eco-friendly image he's trying to build," James replied with a dismissive wave. "All these tech guys are the same now. Sustainability this, carbon footprint that, it's just marketing." Lily kept her head down, focusing on the plants in front of her. From the corner of her eye, she could see Alex standing with Priya and 2 other colleagues on the opposite side of the pool. He was pointing toward the mountains visible in the distance, seemingly unaware of her presence. "Speaking of our host," Nicole lowered her voice, though not enough. "Have you noticed he's not wearing a wedding ring? A guy worth billions, still single." "Interesting, isn't it?" James chuckled. "Planning your next conquest, Nicole. I thought you were still dating that actor. Just keeping my options open. Besides, Alex is much more successful than Tyler will ever be." Nicole smoothed her hair. "I made sure to get the suite next to his. Just being strategic." Lily's hands paused momentarily as she processed Nicole's words. She knew Alex sometimes removed his wedding ring for swimming or workouts, but he typically wore it otherwise. Looking across the pool, she noticed his bare left hand as he gestured during his conversation. She tried to push down the flicker of hurt. There was probably a simple explanation. Maybe he'd removed it for a morning workout and forgotten to put it back on. Or perhaps he'd always kept their marriage private in business settings, and she'd never noticed before. "Excuse me." James's sharp voice cut into her thoughts. He was standing directly above her now. "You missed a spot." Lily looked up, confused. "I'm sorry?" James pointed to a small area of soil near his expensive shoes. "There are weeds here. Aren't you supposed to be maintaining the grounds? Or do you just dig around randomly?" Before Lily could respond, Nicole joined in. "And while you're at it, could you bring us some fresh towels? The ones by the pool chairs are damp." "I'm a gardener, not a pool attendant," Lily said evenly. "But I can let the pool staff know you need towels." Nicole raised an eyebrow. A bit sassy for someone who digs in dirt all day, aren't you? I enjoy working with plants, Lily replied, standing up to face them. They respond well to care and respect. Much like people. James laughed coldly. Is that supposed to be some kind of life lesson from the help? How adorable. From across the pool, Lily noticed Alex now watching the interaction. His face had hardened, and he seemed to be excusing himself from his group to walk in their direction. Chen's coming over, Nicole whispered to James, immediately adjusting her posture and putting on a bright smile. Let me handle this. As Alex approached, Nicole stepped slightly in front of Lily. Alex, James and I were just discussing your presentation this morning. The sustainability initiative is so impressive. Alex's eyes flickered briefly to Lily before addressing Nicole. Thank you, though I believe you were actually speaking with Ms. Garcia about something else. Oh, nothing important, Nicole waved dismissively. Just asking about the gardens, they're quaint. Ms. Garcia is one of the reasons I chose this venue, Alex said, his voice professionally pleasant but with an underlying firmness Lily recognized. Her sustainable gardening approach aligns perfectly with our new company direction. James looked surprised. The gardener? Surely the hotel management designed these gardens. Actually, Alex continued, Ms. Garcia has full creative control over the landscape design here. She's won several awards for her work. Lily felt uncomfortable being discussed as if she weren't present. If you'll excuse me, she said quietly, I need to finish this section before my shift ends. Of course, Alex replied formally, though Lily caught the apology in his eyes. Don't let us interrupt your work. As Lily moved to a different garden bed, she heard Nicole quickly changing the subject, asking Alex about dinner plans. The hurt she'd felt earlier returned. It was one thing to keep their relationship private, but watching Alex slip so easily into his role as the single, successful CEO made her wonder how often he played this part. Later that afternoon, Mr. Wilson found Lily in the greenhouse. There you are. The Chen Group has requested a special setup for tomorrow. They're having an outdoor presentation in the main garden and need someone to help arrange the space. Since you know the gardens best, I thought you'd be perfect, Ilioi. Hesitated. What time tomorrow? They need it ready by 10 a.m., but the setup will need to start around 7. Mr. Wilson handed her a sheet of paper. Here are the details. Apparently, it's an important presentation about their new environmental initiative. Several potential investors will be there. Lily scanned the paper, recognizing Alex's preferences in the specific requests: natural, shade arrangements, locally sourced refreshments, minimal disruption to the garden itself. I'll take care of it, she said finally. That evening, Lily's phone remained silent. Usually Alex would text during retreats or business trips, but tonight there was nothing. She tried to focus on preparing dinner in her small kitchen, but her mind kept returning to the scene by the pool, Alex's bare ring finger, Nicole's obvious interest in him, the easy way he had played into his role as an unattached CEO. Just as she was about to text him herself, there was a knock at her door. She opened it to find Alex standing there looking tired but with a small smile on his face. Surprise, he said softly. Can I come in? Lily stepped aside to let him enter. I thought you had dinner with your investors tonight. I did. It just ended. Alex ran a hand through his hair. I couldn't take another minute of pretending. I missed you. Despite her earlier feelings, Lily felt herself softening. Rough day with the Billionaire crowd? Alex laughed without humor. You have no idea. James spent the entire dinner talking about his new yacht. Nicole kept finding excuses to touch my arm. He moved closer to Lily. I'm sorry about what happened by the pool today. I wanted to say something when they were being rude to you. But that would have broken our agreement, Lily finished for him. She hesitated, then asked the question that had been bothering her. I noticed you weren't wearing your ring. Alex looked down at his left hand, where his wedding band was now firmly in place. I took it off to swim this morning and put it in my room safe. I didn't want to wear it to the investor dinner because it doesn't fit with your image as the eligible bachelor CEO, Lily said, trying to keep the hurt from her voice. That's not fair, Alex replied, though his expression showed guilt. You were the one who wanted to keep our marriage private. We agreed to this arrangement together. I know. Lily moved to the kitchen to finish preparing her dinner. I just didn't realize how it would feel to actually see it happening. To watch Nicole flirt with my husband while he does nothing to discourage it. Alex followed her. It doesn't mean anything, it's just business. Is it? Lily turned to face him. Because from where I stand, it looks like you're perfectly comfortable pretending I don't exist when it's convenient. That's not true. Alex's voice rose slightly. Do you have any idea how hard it's been for me these past few days? Watching James and Nicole treat you like you're beneath them, listening to them talk down to you while I have to stand there and say nothing? Then why? Didn't you say something? Lily demanded. You didn't have to reveal we're married. You could have just told them to show some respect to the hotel staff. Alex was quiet for a moment. You're right. I should have. He sighed heavily. The truth is, James's investment firm is crucial for our new project. If they pull out, we might have to lay off staff. I was trying to keep things smooth until the contracts are signed. Lily felt her anger subsiding, replaced by understanding but also sadness. So your business is more important than how people treat me? That's not what I said. Alex reached for her hand. You know you're the most important person in my life. But this deal, it's not just about money. The project will help transition thousands of homes to renewable energy. It's something I've been working toward for years. Lily squeezed his hand but stepped back. I understand. I do. But maybe this arrangement isn't working anymore. Maybe we need to rethink things. Alarm flashed across Alex's face. What are you saying? I'm not saying I want to end our marriage, Lily clarified quickly. But this double life, I'm not sure it's healthy for us. For either of us. Alex was quiet for a long moment. What do you want to do? I don't know yet, Lily admitted. But I think we need to be more honest with ourselves and maybe with others too. She looked at the clock. It's late and I have to be at work early tomorrow to set up for your presentation. The garden presentation, Alex nodded. I made sure the setup instructions wouldn't disturb the plants too much. Despite everything, Lily smiled. I noticed. Thank you for that. Alex stepped forward and gently pulled her into his arms. I'm sorry they hurt you. After this retreat is over and the contracts are signed, we'll figure this out. I promise. Lily leaned into his embrace, wanting to believe him. But as she rested her head against his chest, she couldn't help wondering if they had already grown, too far apart in their separate worlds. Tomorrow's presentation would bring Alex's most important investors together in her garden, the one place where she had always felt confident and in control. She had a feeling it would be a turning point, though whether for better or worse she couldn't say. Lily arrived at the hotel well before sunrise, the sky still dark as she began preparing the garden for Alex's important presentation. The air was cool and damp with morning dew as she worked by the light of small solar lamps, arranging chairs in a semicircle facing the small wooden podium. Hotel staff would bring the technical equipment later, but Lily wanted to ensure everything blended naturally with the garden's design. You're here early, a voice said behind her. Lily turned to see Priya approaching with 2 cups of coffee in her hands. I couldn't sleep, so I went for a walk and saw the lights in the garden. Thought you might need this. Lily accepted the offered cup gratefully. Thank you. That's very kind. It's the least I could do after how some of my colleagues have been treating you. Priya looked genuinely apologetic. Not all of us at Chen Innovations are like James and Nicole. I know, Lily said, taking a sip of the coffee. Most people who stay at the hotel are perfectly nice. Priya helped Lily move some potted plants to create a natural border around the presentation area. These gardens are really something special. Alex mentioned you designed the whole sustainability system? Lily nodded, surprised at how freely Priya used Alex's first name when most employees seemed to call him Mr. Chen. It's been my project for the past 6 years. We collect rainwater, use solar power for the irrigation systems, and only plant species that support local pollinators. That's exactly the kind of thinking we're trying to implement in our new housing project, Priya said enthusiastically. Sustainable living shouldn't be a luxury only rich people can afford. As they continued working together, Lily found herself warming to Priya. Unlike the others, she seemed genuinely interested in Lily's knowledge and treated her with respect. They talked about everything from garden design to renewable energy, and Lily almost forgot about the tension with Alex from the night before. By 9 o'clock, the garden was transformed. Rows of chairs faced a small stage area that seemed to grow naturally from the surrounding plants. The hotel staff had added a sound system and a screen for presentations, but they were discreetly positioned to minimize their visual impact. "Looks perfect," Mr. Wilson said, inspecting the setup. "The Chen group should be very pleased. Why don't you take a short break before they arrive? You've been here since dawn." Lily nodded gratefully and headed to the staff room to freshen up. She had just splashed some cool water on her face when her phone buzzed with a text from Alex. "Garden looks amazing, thank you. We need to talk after the presentation." Her stomach tightened at the last sentence. Those words rarely preceded anything. Good. She typed back a simple okay and tried to push away her worry. She had work to do. By 10 o'clock, the garden was filled with people in business attire. Lily stood at the back, making sure everything was running smoothly. She spotted Alex, at the front, talking animatedly with a group of older men who she guessed were potential investors. He looked confident and passionate, completely in his element. It was a side of him she rarely saw in their private life. James and Nicole were also there, standing close to Alex. Nicole had positioned herself directly beside him, occasionally touching his arm when she laughed at something he said. Lily felt a pang of something, not quite jealousy but a sense of disconnection. In this world, Alex belonged to everyone but her. Mr. Wilson approached Lily. "Everything going well?" "Yes, all the equipment is working properly," she replied. "I'll stay for the beginning of the presentation to make sure there are no issues. Then I can get back to my regular duties." "Actually," Mr. Wilson looked slightly uncomfortable. "Mr. Chen requested that you stay for the entire presentation. He said the content might be relevant to your work with the gardens." Lily was surprised but nodded her agreement. As people began taking their seats, she remained standing at the back, curious about why Alex wanted her there. The presentation began with Alex walking confidently to the podium. "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful day in this remarkable setting." His eyes briefly found Lily at the back before continuing. "Today, I'm excited to share Chen Innovation's most ambitious project to date, one that combines technology with sustainability in a way that could transform how we live." As Alex launched into his presentation, Lily found herself genuinely impressed. The project he described was a new type of affordable housing that incorporated advanced sustainability features, solar power, water recycling systems, and community gardens similar to the ones she had designed for the hotel. It was thoughtful, innovative, and could help thousands of people live more sustainably without breaking the bank. "The key to this project," Alex continued, "is finding the right balance between cutting-edge technology and practical, proven sustainable practices. Which brings me to why I chose this location for our retreat." He gestured to the gardens around them. "These gardens represent exactly the kind of thinking we need. Innovative but practical, beautiful but functional, and accessible to everyone. They weren't designed by a huge architectural firm or a team of engineers. They were created by one person with vision and dedication." Lily felt her cheeks warm as several people turned to look in her direction. This wasn't part of their agreement. Alex wasn't supposed to draw attention to her. "In fact," Alex continued, "the designer of these gardens has agreed to consult on our project, bringing her expertise in sustainable landscaping to help make our vision a reality." This was definitely news to Lily. She had agreed to no such thing. From her position at the back, she could see Nicole leaning over to whisper something to James, both of them looking dismissive. James raised his hand and Alex acknowledged him. "Yes, James. You have a question?" James stood, his expensive suit gleaming in the morning sun. "Alex, while I appreciate the rustic charm of these gardens, are you seriously suggesting that Your billion-dollar project should take design cues from a hotel gardener. Surely there are more qualified experts we could consult. A tense silence fell over the group. Alex's expression remained calm, but Lily could see the muscle in his jaw tighten, a sure sign he was angry. An excellent question, James. Alex replied, his voice controlled. Could you clarify what qualifications you believe would be more appropriate? James seemed pleased to elaborate. Well, someone with formal training, a degree from a respected institution, professional experience with large-scale projects, not someone who, he gestured vaguely in Lily's direction, plants flowers at hotel. Nicole nodded in agreement. Exactly. This project needs real expertise, not gardening tips from the help. Lily felt her face burn with embarrassment and anger. She had dealt with people underestimating her before, but never so publicly, or dismissively. She started to step back, planning to quietly leave when Alex's voice cut through the garden. I think there's been a misunderstanding, he said, his tone suddenly much cooler. The hotel gardener you're referring to has a master's degree in environmental science from Berkeley. Before designing these award-winning gardens, she worked with 3 of the most prestigious landscape architecture firms in the country. Her sustainable water management system has been featured in national publications and is being implemented in parks across the state. The group fell silent, many looking at Lily with new interest or surprise. James and Nicole appeared taken aback, but quickly recovered. Well, James said with a forced laugh, you should have mentioned these credentials earlier. Though I'm still not convinced that... I wasn't finished, Alex interrupted, something he rarely did in business settings. There's one more qualification. I forgot to mention. He paused, looking directly at Lily across the garden. His expression softened, and she could see him make a decision. The hotel gardener you've been dismissing for the past 3 days? Alex continued, his voice clear and firm. Her name is Lily Chen. She's my wife. The garden erupted in surprised murmurs. Nicole's face went pale, while James looked like he'd been slapped. Lily stood frozen, unable to believe what Alex had just done. After years of keeping their lives separate, he had just announced their marriage to his entire company and his most important investors. Priya, sitting in the front row, broke into a wide smile and was the first to start applauding. Others quickly joined in, though some, including James and Nicole, remained stunned and silent. Alex stepped away from the podium and walked directly toward Lily. The crowd parted as he moved through them, his eyes never leaving hers. When he reached her, he took her hand. I'm sorry, he said quietly, so only she could hear. I know this wasn't our agreement, but I couldn't stand it anymore. Watching them treat you that way, pretending I didn't care. Lily was still too shocked to respond. All the carefully constructed walls between their separate lives had just come crashing down in an instant. I understand if you're angry, Alex continued, still speaking softly. But last night made me realize something. I don't want separate lives anymore. I'm proud to be your husband, and I should never have hidden that from anyone. Before Lily could respond, Mr. Wilson hurried over, looking completely bewildered. Ms. Garcia? Or Mrs. Chen? I don't understand what's happening. Alex turned to him with a smile. I apologize for the confusion, Mr. Wilson. Lily and I have been married for 5 years. We kept it private for personal reasons, but those reasons no longer matter. As the crowd watched in fascination, Lily finally found her voice. Alex, what about your investors? James was going to fund the whole project. If James can't see your value, then I don't want his money, Alex replied firmly. We'll find investors who share our values, all of them. From across the garden, James cleared his throat loudly. Now see here, Chen. This is highly irregular. You've been misleading us all week, and now you expect us to just... Actually, James, a new voice cut in. An older woman Lily hadn't noticed before stood up from the back row. I find this development quite refreshing. Integrity in one's personal life often reflects integrity in business. The woman walked forward, her elegant gray suit and confident stride immediately commanding attention. Helen Barnes, she introduced herself to Lily. Verdant Capital, We specialize in sustainable investment. She turned to Alex. I'd like to hear more about your project, Mr. Chen, and perhaps a private tour of these remarkable gardens from your wife. As Helen and Alex began talking business, Lily caught sight of James and Nicole slipping away from the garden. Their influence clearly diminished. Priya gave Lily a thumbs up from across the crowd, mouthing, "I knew it," with a grin. The careful separation of their worlds had ended, and Lily wasn't sure what would come next. But as she watched Alex proudly introducing her to his colleagues, she felt something settle inside her. Whatever happened, they would face it together, no longer pretending to be less than they were to each other. The afternoon following Alex's revelation was a whirlwind. As word spread through the hotel, Lily found herself the center of attention in a way she had never experienced before. Hotel staff who had worked alongside her for years looked at her differently, some with surprise, others with newfound respect, and a few with something that bordered on suspicion. "So you're actually married to Mr. Chen?" Rosa asked when she cornered Lily in the greenhouse. "All this time you never said a word?" Lily carefully repotted a small orchid, buying time to find the right words. "It was a private decision. We wanted to keep our work lives separate." "But he's a billionaire," Rosa exclaimed. "You could have been living in a mansion instead of that little apartment. You could have quit this job years ago." "I like this job," Lily said simply. "And my apartment is just fine. Money doesn't change everything, Rosa." But as the day wore on, Lily realized that money did change things, whether she wanted it to or not. Mr. Wilson, who had always treated her as a valuable but ordinary employee, now hovered nervously whenever she was around, as if afraid she might report any imperfection to her powerful husband. When she asked for simple gardening supplies, they appeared within minutes. The hotel manager himself brought them, apologizing for the delay. "This is exactly what I didn't want," she muttered to herself as she knelt in the soil, planting new seedlings in the vegetable garden. This quiet corner of the hotel grounds had always been her favorite place, a small patch where she grew herbs and vegetables for the hotel kitchen. It was practical, productive, and rarely visited by guests who preferred the more decorative areas. "Hiding out?" Alex's voice came from behind her. He had changed from his presentation suit into more casual clothes, though still far more expensive than anything in Lily's wardrobe. "Just doing my job," she replied, not looking up. "Shouldn't you be with your investors?" "Helen is talking with her team about funding options. She seems very interested." Alex knelt beside her, not caring about the dirt that would get on his designer jeans. "The others are reviewing the project details. I thought I should check on you instead." Lily finally looked at him. "That was quite a scene you caused." "I know." His expression was both apologetic and defiant. "Are you angry?" Lily sighed, sitting back on her heels. "I'm not sure what I am right now. Everything's changed so fast." "Not everything," Alex said softly, reaching out to take her soil-covered hand in his clean one. "I'm still me. You're still you. We still love each other." "But the world around us has changed," Lily pointed out. "Mr. Wilson practically bowed to me when I asked for fertilizer. Rosa keeps asking if she can see pictures of our mansion. Everyone's treating me differently." "That will pass," Alex assured her, "once the novelty wears off." "Will it?" Lily wasn't convinced. "What about your company? Your investors?" "James and Nicole have been giving me death glares all day." Alex's expression hardened. "James and Nicole are no longer involved in this project. Helen has offered to cover their portion of the investment, and she's bringing in 2 other firms who specialize in sustainable development." "Just like that? You cut them out?" "Just like that." Alex nodded firmly. "I should have done it sooner. The way they treated you, the way they treat anyone they consider beneath them, it says everything about their character. Those aren't the kind of people I want to do business with." "But they have billions to invest," Lily said. "Won't this hurt your company?" Alex shrugged. "Maybe in the short term, but in the long run, partners like Helen will be much better for us. She actually cares about the projects, not just the profits." He paused, watching Lily carefully. "There's something else I need to tell you." Lily tensed. What is it? I've asked Priya to take over as project lead for the new development, Alex said, and I'd like to formally offer you the position of chief sustainability consultant. If you want it. Lily stared at him. You're offering me a job? At your company? It would be your department, actually. Complete creative control over the environmental aspects of all our projects. The salary is negotiable, but… Alex, Lily cut him off. I already have a job, one that I love. You could still keep your garden work if you want, Alex said quickly. This would be consulting at first, maybe part-time. Lily looked around at the garden she had built over years of hard work. I don't know. This feels like another big change, and I'm still processing. The first one. Take your time. Alex squeezed her hand. The offer doesn't expire, and whatever you decide won't change anything between us. Before Lily could respond, they were interrupted by the sound of approaching voices. Nicole and James appeared on the garden path, stopping short when they saw Alex and Lily together. There you are, Alex, Nicole said, pointedly ignoring Lily. We've been looking everywhere for you. We need to discuss the terms of our investment before things go any further. Alex stood, helping Lily to her feet beside him. I think I made myself clear earlier. Chen Innovations will be moving forward with different partners. James stepped forward, his face flushed with anger. Because of her? He jerked his head toward Lily. You're throwing away $1 billion partnership over some gardener you married? Careful, James, Alex warned, his voice dangerously quiet. No, I want to hear this, Lily said, surprising everyone, including herself. She faced James directly. What exactly is your problem with me? Is it that I work with my hands, that I don't wear designer clothes? Or is it simply that I don't measure a person's worth by the size of their bank account? James seemed taken aback by her direct challenge. My problem is that people should know their place. Chen here has built an empire, and you're playing in the dirt. It's not natural. Not natural? Lily laughed, a genuine sound that seemed to confuse James even more. What could be more natural than working with the earth, growing things that feed people, that clean the air we breathe? Your money can't create oxygen, James. It can't pollinate flowers or purify water. Nicole stepped forward. This is ridiculous. Alex, you need to think about your company's reputation. When people find out you married the help, when people find out I married an environmental scientist who chose to apply her knowledge in a practical way, Alex interrupted. When they discover that the award-winning sustainable garden system that's being implemented across the state was designed by my wife, that reputation, Nicole faltered, clearly not having expected this response. You know what I've realized this week? Alex continued, his arm now around Lily's shoulders. Success isn't just about money. It's about integrity. It's about treating people with respect, regardless of their job title or bank balance. It's about building something that makes the world better, not just richer. Spare us the sermon, James snapped. You've made your choice. You'll regret it when your little project fails without our backing. I don't think it will, came a new voice. Helen Barnes approached from the main path, tablet in hand. In fact, based on the preliminary numbers, I think this could be one of the most successful sustainable housing developments in the country. Nodded politely to James and Nicole. I believe Mr. Chen has made his position clear. Perhaps you should focus your investment interests elsewhere. With a final glare at Alex and Lily, James turned and strode away. Nicole hesitated, looking at Alex with what might have been regret before following James. They'll try to make trouble for you, Helen observed calmly after they'd gone. Alex shrugged. Probably, but we'll handle it. We certainly will, Helen agreed. Now I was hoping to get that garden tour we discussed, if you're available, Mrs. Chen. Lily looked down at her dirt-covered clothes and hands. I'm not exactly dressed for a business meeting, Helen smiled warmly. You're dressed perfectly for showing me a garden. And please, call me Helen. As Lily led Helen through the vegetable garden explaining the companion planting system and natural pest control methods, she felt a strange sense of coming full circle. Here she was, doing exactly what she'd always done, sharing her knowledge about plants and sustainability. but now people were actually listening. Alex excused himself to take a business call, but watched from a distance as his wife and his new primary investor walked among the plants deep in conversation. The pride on his face was unmistakable. Later that evening, after the day's events had finally quieted, Lily and Alex sat on the balcony of his hotel suite, looking out at the gardens now lit by subtle solar lights that Lily had installed along the paths. "I've been thinking," Lily said, breaking the comfortable silence between them. "About your job offer." Alex turned to her, eyebrows raised. "And? I think I could be interested. Not full-time, at least not yet. I'm not ready to leave the hotel gardens, but consulting on the new project, that could be interesting." Alex smiled. "Whatever terms you want. You'd be the boss of your department. And I want it clear that I got the position because of my qualifications, not because I'm your wife," Lily added firmly. "That goes without saying," Alex agreed. "Though I think after today no one would question your qualifications." Lily looked out at the gardens she had created, then back at her husband. "We're going to have to figure out a new balance, aren't we? Now that our separate worlds aren't so separate anymore." "We will," Alex assured her, taking her hand. "Maybe you'll spend more time in my world, or maybe I'll spend more time in yours, or maybe we'll create something new together." "Like the project with Helen?" "Exactly like that." Alex smiled. "A place where people from different economic backgrounds can live sustainably, where wealth doesn't determine worth." Lily leaned her head against his shoulder. "I'd like that. A place where gardeners and billionaires can be neighbors." "And where a gardener and a billionaire can be partners," Alex added softly. As the stars appeared overhead and the scent of night-blooming flowers drifted up from the gardens, Lily thought about the strange journey of the past few days. The walls between their separate lives had come down, and though the change had been sudden and sometimes painful, she couldn't help feeling it was for the best. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, explaining to her family, dealing with the press that would inevitably discover their story, finding the right balance between her independence and their partnership. But tonight, sitting beside the man she loved, looking out at the garden she had created, Lily felt something she hadn't expected. Not just acceptance of their new reality, but excitement for what they might build together.